Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Alone/Sitting in My Mother's Basement podcast. I don't know the name. I haven't come up with a good name, and it's split between the two. Maybe it'll just be both. I'm not sure. But welcome to the second episode. I'm gonna start it off with a bit of housekeeping. I regret to inform you that we did in fact lose the election for Commissioner of the Securities and Exchange Commission. It's really a shame, honestly. We should have won because of all the great ideas I had, but unfortunately, Adlai Stevenson did end up winning. I wish him the best of luck, and I hope my snipers will catch him slipping up soon. Well, today's topic, we are going to be talking about the Game Awards. They happened recently, and I gotta tell you, these gamers, they don't know up from down, right from wrong anymore. These games, they're horrible, dude. Like, The Last of Us 2, more like bad game, because it was bad, dude. I saw it, and it was like, why is the story so not good? I've never played the game, honestly, but I'm not a big fan, especially when there were much better games released, such as Quakers Oat Squares. It's one of the greatest games I've ever played. If you haven't played Quakers Oat Squares, pick it up today. You'll find it just about everywhere, honestly, because it's such a good game. But clearly there was some kind of payoff. If I was the commissioner of the Securities and Exchange Commission, which I am not, unfortunately, I'd be going after every single person on the Game Award of the Year election committee, because they are clearly defrauding us, the gamer public, out of good games, winning Game of the Year. I mean, if Quakers Oat Squares can't win Game of the Year, what game can? It was such a good game. If you haven't played it, the shooting mechanics are divine. Basically, the story goes, you are just a lonely worker in the Quakers Oat Squares plant when suddenly it turns out that there are many people trying to break in and steal the Quakers Oat Squares formula because it's that good of a cereal, and you have to fight them off. So basically what happens is you are given a gun that shoots Quakers Oat Squares, and you shoot people with it, and the shooting mechanics are divine. It is responsive, and it is, let me say, I can't believe The Last of Us 2 can't even compete with how immersive, that is correct, immersive Quakers Oat Square shooting mechanics are. Another thing, you can interact with just about everything in this game. Like, can The Last of Us 2 do that? No. You can't eat every single Quakers Oat Square in The Last of Us 2 because they don't have it, because you know why? Because it isn't a good game, and Quakers Oat Squares is. Now, let's talk more about the story. So basically you have to stop these guys. But you make your way through the building, which I gotta say, level design. How can you compete with that? You've got levels such as Quakers Oat Squares Factory Floor, Quakers Oat Squares Office, Quakers Oat Squares Executive Office, and finally Quakers Oat Squares Parking Lot and Surrounding Town, which that's honestly my favorite level. I would play the game just to stick around to that point. That's such a good level. But basically, you start out on the factory floor, and it turns out these dudes, they're in like full SWAT uniforms. They're breaking in to steal a secret formula. And you can't let people steal the Quakers Oat Squares secret formula, can you? No, you can't, because it's too delicious and it would lose too many profits for Quakers. And so they're breaking in. They're trying to steal the Quakers Oat Squares formula. But you can't do that. They can't do that. So you should take your Quakers Oat Squares gun and you shoot them all. And let me tell you, these are not little cheesecakes. They take a beating to kill. They take a couple Quakers Oat Squares to kill. And they aren't bullet sponges, but they aren't little like fucking rubber mallets of opponents. And so basically the big SWAT team, which I'll reveal who they are later in the game, they break in, and then when you get them all and you get to the end of the Quakers Oat Squares factory floor. You basically you begin the next level, where it turns out that your love interest has been kidnapped and they're trying to torture her to get the Quakers Oat Squares formula, but you can't have that. So you're in the offices, and you have to make it through again with your Quakers Oat Squares gun, which, to be honest, that's an overpowered weapon. Honestly, like, why don't they deploy it into our own military? I mean, both you get nutrition and a weapon. And another great point is the weapon customization in this game. So you have your pistol. You can attach many different things, such as the Oat Squares suppressor, which will attach to the front of your gun and make it silent, and the extended mag, which it changes it from the smaller boxes of Quakers Oat Squares, like the little ones that you get at like a fair or something as a sampler, to the really big ones, like I don't know, those are not like the normal boxes, but like the big boxes of cereal. They're I forget which cereal it's from, but it's a big one. The big ones, not like the really big ones, like the toast, not cinnamon toast crunch, but they're little pieces of toast and it comes in like strawberry and stuff. But not like those big ones where it's 2 bags. It's just the 1 bag, but it's bigger than a regular box of cereal. So basically, you can put that on the bottom of your gun, and you can then increase the shooting ammo of your gun from about 30 to about 200. And so another thing you can have is you have some sights. Normally it's just a Quaker's Oat Square with a little bit of sight carved into it, and it's okay, you can see down. But then you can do many other things. You can carve it differently, and that's just about all you have for weapon stuff. But let me tell you, this game has both first and third person, which they added also a new thing. They added second person, which I can't believe they did that. Which is, you basically just watch you watch the game. It's like watching a YouTuber, and I love YouTubers. Let me tell you, I hope Markiplier plays this game soon. I love Markiplier. I love when he plays Five Nights at Freddy's, but I don't like it because the jump scares, they scare me too much. But then people will put the timestamps where the jump scares are in the comments, and then I'm not scared anymore. I love Markiplier, dude. He's so funny. I like when he screams because he's so loud and he's so wacky. But I hope he plays Quakers Oat Squares soon. So basically, when you go through the office, it's really cool. There's a secret collectible. If you enter in secret passcodes you can find on labels of the Quakers Oat Squares boxes on the Quakers Oat Squares factory floor. If you type them into all the computers you find, you will unlock a secret collectible that will unlock at the end of the game. And so basically at the end of the level, which, let me tell you, the art design is great. You have some nice, like a cream, like a Baroque wallpaper that's like a dark cream, like kind of a piss cream. And you have all the big dividers because it's an office. And finally you get to the end and you find that your love interest is there. And then you have hot sex, which I gotta tell you, this game is not really. This is rated over M for mature because it's like Cyberpunk can't even compete with the hot sex in this game. I mean it. Like it really got my motor running. It got me jiving, guys. You should really play this game. So after you rescue and after you lay some pipe with your love interest, then you go on to the executive offices because you learn they are getting very close to the secret formula. Luckily, your love interest did not, and she in fact ensured you that after you had hot sex. So after that, you're in the executive offices, and this is different. It doesn't look the same. It looks more modern. You've got just normal, like, drywall, and there's no really skirting at the bottom. You got all those Apple products. You got Macs everywhere, like, running terribly. And at the end of the hallway, you've got the big door where the Quakers Oat Squares boss is. and he is also being tortured. And so you have to go into all the offices and collect key cards from all the different people to open the door to the Quakers Oat Squares boss's office. And so you go through, and there's a lot of bosses in this part because, well, you have to get all the key cards, and some of them are on employees where you just go, hey, can I have that, please? I gotta go save the boss. And then you point your gun at him and you shoot him and you take the key card anyway. And other ones are where they're these big SWAT guys in robot suits, and they take quite a few hits to kill. And so basically you get all the key cards, you put them all in the key card holders, and it's kind of hard because you have to time it perfectly, or a giant spike comes out of the ground and fucking goes up your little Quakers Oat Square ass, and you die basically. And so after that, you go in and you learn that he's being held hostage by this big guy. He kind of looks like Solid Snake. They call him Loose Cobra, and I think that's a pretty creative name, honestly. And after it's a really tough fight with him, you know, he's got a Cheerios submachine gun. And that is when you find out General Mills is in fact trying to steal the Quakers Oats formula. And after you kill him, the boss thanks you, and you also have hot sex with the boss, which he looks pretty good, honestly. You know, he's got abs. I was expecting him to be really fat and old, but he's pretty young, and he's kind of a twink, honestly, you know. It's kind of hot, honestly. I'm glad they put that in the game. I'm really glad we are getting LGBTQ representation in video games. Well, after that, you break through the window, and you parachute with your Quakers Oats parachute down to the parking lot and surrounding thing, and you have to drive all the rest of the General Mills SWAT team out of the area, and it's honestly one of the best missions. It gets a little tedious because you have to find them all, but the town design is great. It really leads up to some epic battles, and they're quite tough enemies at this point. You know, you shoot down some Cheerios gunships and stuff, but in the end you win, and you have hot sex with both the boss and your love interest at the same time, and then you buy a little house, and you just, at the end of the game, the credits roll, and then you come back and you just make General Mills cereals go obsolete by crushing them. And then after that, you go back to making Quakers Oat Squares to nourish the masses, because the masses need nourishment. Only the Quakers can. They can only provide that, honestly. So basically, that's why Quakers Oat Squares should have won Game of the Year at the Game Awards, because honestly, all the rest of the games just didn't have anything on that. I mean, if games like Cyberpunk 2099 couldn't get on the board, then how they're clearly being paid off, honestly. It's just like Starbucks is, and all the Dunkin' Donuts that are currently being under the American Mafia, which I'm becoming friends with their leaders because of things I've said in the last podcast. So basically, the Game Awards committee is pretty corrupt. I mean, how can The Last of Us 2 win Game of the Year and Quakers Oat Squares came out? That should be all. I mean, I hope my snipers will get Adlai Stevenson soon, so I can then take the office of Commissioner of the Securities and Exchange Commission. I'll see you next time, everybody. Make sure to like